Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a world without refrigerators, without supermarkets, without the simple shaker on your table. In that world, for most of human history, salt was not just seasoning, it was survival, it was wealth, it was power, a simple mineral we take for granted today. But for thousands of years, it was one of the most valuable substances on earth, literally worth its weight in gold. Armies marched for it. Empires rose and fell because of it. Traders risked their lives crossing deadly deserts for it, and the people and families paid dearly for it, in pain, death, and war.
Hold the line! Protect the salt! The salt is ours! Yield! Charge! The caravan! Defend! For the Empire! You will not take our salt!
And civilizations were built upon it, from prehistoric discoveries to ancient trade empires. Salt preserved food, paid soldiers, built unimaginable wealth, and enabled humanity to thrive in ways never before possible. In this video, we embark on an extraordinary journey through 10,000 years of history, the incredible story of salt, the white gold that shaped humanity. Stay with me as we uncover the secrets, the battles, the innovations, and the human drama behind this humble crystal. Humanity's fascination with salt began in the mists of prehistory, thousands of years before written records. As early as 8,000 to 6,000 BCE, our ancestors noticed something remarkable. Animals, deer, cattle, even wild horses, would travel great distances to lick exposed salt deposits left behind by ancient seas. These natural salt licks became gathering places. Humans followed the animals, tasted the crystals, and realized this white mineral satisfied a deep, primal craving their plant-heavy diets could not fulfill. Imagine the discovery. In a harsh world where food was scarce and unpredictable, salt wasn't just flavor, it was life itself. It regulated bodily fluids, prevented dehydration in hot climates, and made bland roots and grains palatable. Early people gathered it from evaporated pools, licked rocks, and traded small amounts like precious gems. By around 6000 BCE, in places like Romania's Poiana Slatinei and China's Yuncheng Salt Lake, organized production began. In China, as early as 2700 BCE or even earlier, people drilled brine wells and boiled the salty water in pottery vessels over open fires, one of the earliest industrial processes in human history. They developed sophisticated bamboo drilling techniques that would later inspire modern oil drilling. Along the Mediterranean coast and in the Levant, solar evaporation became the dominant method. Workers channeled seawater into shallow rectangular pans, let the sun do its work, and raked up the pure white crystals as the water evaporated. The Dead Sea, known anciently as the Salt Sea, became one of the richest sources, with its hypersaline waters yielding vast quantities. In Europe, the Bronze Age saw the rise of briquetage, ingenious ceramic molds and troughs where brine was boiled to extract salt. Sites across France, England, and beyond show massive industrial-scale production. Inland salt mines in Austria, Poland, and Romania provided rock salt for those without access to the sea. What started as simple gathering soon exploded into industry. Salt supplied growing populations, enabled longer storage of food, and fueled the first major trade networks. The white crystals that formed in the sun or were hacked from underground veins were no longer just a necessity. They were becoming the foundation of economies. Salt quickly transcended its role as food. It became money, hard currency in a world before coins. In many ancient societies, standardized salt blocks or bars served as a universal medium of exchange. Portable, divisible, and always in demand, salt was the original commodity money. Nowhere was this more dramatic than in West Africa. South of the Sahara, natural salt deposits were rare or non-existent. North of the desert lay vast mines like Taudeni and Takaza, where workers carved massive slabs of pure salt from the earth. These slabs, sometimes as large as tables, were loaded onto camel caravans for epic journeys across hundreds of miles of scorching sand. Traders risked everything: sandstorms, bandits, dehydration, and exhaustion. The caravans moved like slow-moving armies, with thousands of camels carrying the precious cargo south to trading hubs like Timbuktu, Gao, and Janneh. There, in bustling markets, salt was exchanged, often literally pound for pound, for gold dust from the southern mines. The famous phrase, "Salt was worth its weight in gold," was not exaggeration. It was economic reality. The empires built on this trade were legendary. The Ghana Empire rose to power, controlling salt routes. The Mali Empire, with its famous ruler, Mansa Musa, dominated the trade through Timbuktu. Later, the Songhai Empire guarded the secret locations of the mines fiercely. Taxes on salt caravans made rulers fabulously wealthy. One Arab traveler noted that the king of Ghana levied taxes twice on salt, once entering and once leaving his territory.
Present the salt for inspection and payment, and the exit tax.
In the Roman world, salt reached new heights of importance. By the 1st century BCE, the empire had a sophisticated system.
Good, the salarium is here.
Soldiers received a special allowance called salarium, literally salt money, to purchase this essential mineral. This practice gave us the modern word salary. The famous Via Salaria, the Salt Road, was one of Rome's earliest highways.
Keep it steady! The salt must not be lost!
The Salt Road, built specifically to transport salt from coastal works at Ostia
Keep formation, eyes open.
into the heart of the empire. Controlling salt production meant controlling wealth and power.
The salt routes from the mines, sir. Good, this crystal confirms the quality.
In China,
Inspect the purity. Record the weight. 10 sacks sealed.
the government established early monopolies on salt as far back as the 7th century BCE, using the revenue to fund armies and infrastructure. In medieval Europe, salt taxes like France's notorious gabelle became symbols of oppression, helping spark revolutions. Across continents, salt shaped politics, warfare, and economics.
Die, ye weak!
Empires rose on its back and sometimes fell when roots shifted. The white gold didn't just feed people, it built and destroyed kingdoms. While salt built empires as currency, its most transformative power was far more personal. It saved lives through preservation. In a world without refrigeration, canning, or freezing, salt was the difference between feast and famine, between survival and starvation.
Salt every layer. It must last the winter.
The technique was simple but revolutionary. Dry salting, rubbing meat or fish thickly with salt crystals, drew out moisture through osmosis, creating an environment where bacteria and spoilage organisms could not survive. Braining in concentrated saltwater solutions achieved the same effect more gently. Fish from the Mediterranean or Sea of Galilee could be preserved for weeks or months. Meat, vegetables, olives, and even cheese lasted through harsh winters or long journeys. Imagine an ancient fishing village at the end of a good catch. Instead of watching the surplus rot in the sun, families layered fish with salt in large ceramic jars or stone-lined pits, sometimes adding herbs or spices. The result: portable, nutritious food that could travel hundreds of miles.
These barrels are heavy, but they'll travel well.
To inland cities. Salted fish became a staple, traded across the Roman Empire and beyond.
Keep pace! We're nearly clear!
This preservation revolution changed everything. Communities no longer had to follow migrating herds or abandon coastal villages seasonally. They could settle permanently, grow larger populations, and develop complex societies. Long-distance trade in perishable goods became possible. Viking longships could venture far because their holds were packed with salted provisions. The age of exploration was, in many ways, an age of salt. Beyond preservation, salt's versatility was astonishing. It seasoned bland staple foods like grains and porridge, making them enjoyable and nutritious.
Natron will draw the moisture.
Ancient Egyptians used it in mummification, packing bodies with natron, a natural salt mixture, to dry them for the afterlife. Romans and Greeks valued it for cleaning wounds, in dyeing fabrics for colorful textiles, and even in early soap making and purification rituals. In daily life across cultures, salt was indispensable. A pinch in the cooking pot transformed a meal. A block in the home symbolized security. Its crystalline structure and sharp taste made it almost magical. A gift from the earth or the sea that could conquer time itself by stopping decay. From the kitchens of humble villages to the workshops of artisans and the embalming chambers of pharaohs, salt worked quietly but powerfully behind the scenes of human progress. Building the world on white gold salt didn't just preserve food or build wealth. It helped preserve and build civilization itself. Reliable food storage supported larger, more stable populations. Permanent settlements could grow into cities because surplus food didn't spoil. Complex societies with specialized workers, artisans, soldiers, traders, rulers became possible when everyone didn't have to spend every day hunting or gathering fresh food. Armies could march farther and stay longer because they carried salted meat and fish. Explorers and traders could cross oceans and deserts knowing their provisions would last. The great trade networks of antiquity, the trans-Saharan routes, the Mediterranean sea lanes, the Roman roads, were highways not just for salt, but for ideas, technologies, religions, and cultures. Where salt flowed, civilizations flourished. The Ghana, Malay, and Songhai empires in West Africa rose on the back of the salt gold trade, creating centers of learning like Timbuktu. The Roman Empire's sophisticated logistics system, including the Via Salaria, helped bind diverse provinces together. In China,
the salt quotas must be met to fund the roads.
Helped fund vast infrastructure and maintain imperial unity over enormous distances. Salt fueled economic growth and cultural exchange on a scale previously unimaginable. It connected distant peoples, spread culinary traditions, and even influenced language, giving us words like salary and place names like Salzburg, Salt Castle. Access to salt was often the deciding factor in prosperity or decline. Cities without it struggled. Those that controlled production or trade routes thrived. It was the invisible infrastructure of the ancient world, as essential as water or fire, yet often overlooked in the grand stories of kings and conquests. From humble prehistoric discoveries at animal salt licks, through the boiling brine of ancient China and the solar pans of the Mediterranean, to the epic camel caravans of the Sahara and the structured logistics of Rome, salt has been one of humanity's most important and enduring companions. It preserved life, built wealth, sparked wars, enabled exploration, and helped weave the fabric of civilizations across continents and millennia. Today, we sprinkle it without a second thought, its crystals so common we barely notice them. But its history reminds us how something so simple, so fundamental, powered human progress in extraordinary ways. The white gold that once cost empires their fortunes now sits on every table. Yet the story of salt continues to fascinate, a testament to human ingenuity, resilience, and the eternal quest to master the resources of our world. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the extraordinary history of salt.